It's my feel-good breakfast show.
A warm welcome back to your Monday morning. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on SABC3. And it's time for us to unpack some exciting news from the world of technology, everything that you need to know, coming to us from General Manager of bandwidthblog.com, Brian Smith. Always a pleasure to have you here, sir.
Thank you for having me.
The very first story, I think one that'll excite a lot of people, perhaps make others nervous. The fact that WhatsApp has now introduced a new feature that allows you to delete a message.
Well, I think, as you said, this will make a lot of people happy around the world today.
Yeah.
So this comes on the back of WhatsApp has always allowed you to delete a message, but up until now, one can only delete their own copy of a message. So
yes.
if you and I were in conversation, I could delete my copy, but you could still see it. The new feature allows everyone to recall a message, so delete it to all parties within 7 minutes of having sent a message. However, it does require that both of us are using the same latest version of WhatsApp on our phones.
Yes.
The update at the moment is rolling out to both Android and iOS, so we should all be getting it within the next few couple of days or hours.
Any reason why they decided to do this?
I think it's a matter of pleasing the consumer at the end of the day, and you can imagine that someone might be frustrated. They think they're deleting a message and it's only their copy and it's left in perpetuity on another chat.
Yeah, okay, well, that's the latest there. And then another interesting thing, a fascinating study from NASA that had Captain Scott Kelly living in space, and they compared the evolution of his genes to his cousin, not his cousin, but rather his twin brother, Captain Mark Kelly. What did they find?
Well, this is an experiment which I think we might never be able to repeat, and it's particularly interesting in that sense, is that Scott Kelly, who's on the right, has spent the past year in space aboard the International Space Station, while his twin brother Mark has been planetside on Earth. So the interesting thing is it's given NASA researchers a window to explore how space might affect the development of the human body. The one interesting discovery they have made, and to break down some very technical terms, is that what they found, Scott's rate of DNA methylation changed. In very layman's terms, that's essentially when genes in your body turn on and off, and that's more closely linked to the emergence of cancer. Thank goodness Scott's not showing any signs of that.
Wow.
Another interesting change is that a change was found on the telomeres of his DNA, which are essentially the protective caps on the tops of one's DNA strands. That's more closely linked with fewer serious health concerns in old age. Finally, of course, the most visible physical change, one you can actually see in this photo, is the fact that while aboard the International Space Station in the absence of gravity, Scott grew an extra 2 inches over his identical twin brother. Though since he's returned to the Earth, he's resumed his natural stature.
My goodness, that is really, really fascinating stuff indeed. And thank you so much for always keeping us up to date, Brian Smith. And of course, if you want to get the latest daily dose of tech news and opinion, then head on over to bandwidthblog.com.